So one of my clients allowed me to share this. It just happened about a month ago. And this man, as a child, was raped by the babysitter, a male babysitter, in the West. They're an Eastern family who migrated to the West looking for the, American dream, like many people do. Trusting someone from their same culture, a Muslim, to take care of their child while they are working, mother and father working. And I always tell my clients, see from the start. You see the problem? Mother and father working. Yeah, but we need two salaries. Okay. At what price? At what price? No, brother, you're too extreme in this. Why can't we? This is why. This could have been avoided. I'm not blaming this one or that one. Anyway, that's not my point. My point is that a lot of these incidents happen from people of trust. So as a child, you get raped, molested by one of these guys. Formative stages, it affects everything. And obviously it's hard for me to understand what was going on inside of his mind, like the conflict. What I can assess is only based on some of the articles and some of the things that I read. But there's definitely a huge cognitive dissonance, a contradiction, a war, an internal war between what you feel and what you believe. So one of the guys, another client who was raped, he says, sorry, but I like it, but I hate it. It feels good, but I know it's wrong. You understand? It's a contradiction. And when that dissonance is there, it can lead to severe depression. The person either accepts themselves and says, khalas, this is my life, pride or whatever, or they end up in this depressive, self-harming lifestyle. And a lot of them end up committing suicide. And this is what this guy did in the end. Problem is that he also took someone with him.
So the mother and father were working, and they let him stay with the babysitter. What happened?
Babysitter raped him. Male babysitter raped him. Not once, but continuously.
How old was he?
Probably around 7, around there. And that ended up moving into 10, 11. And then it stopped, right? But the damage is done, right? That's where it's the worst time. Your sexuality is not formed yet. You can only imagine how many conflicts that guy had, especially when he hit puberty, when he started developing sexual feelings and so on.
The mother and father knew about it.
They knew about it later, and that's another thing that our ummah is really suffering from. This concept of shame if something happens. Certain cultures specifically, they're willing to cover it up so they don't look bad in front of the community. Problem is with that, and this is what led to the guy committing suicide. Child grows up, continues, this relationship continues to a certain point where it's discovered, or the child comes forward and says, this is what's happening. Parents say, shut up. You can't say this. This is wrong. Or what are the people going to think about us? What are the people going to think about us? So just keep quiet. What they don't understand is what's happening inside that child, which we'll discuss. The child grows up, gets married. However, there's problems. That type of damage causes attachment, has attachment issues. Right? They're not able to bond correctly. However, the person was dealing with these issues to an extent. There's counseling, which definitely is very important. A lot of people don't even seek counseling. But there was something that triggered and brought things back up. See, when trauma happens, there's a defense mechanism where we tend to push it into the subconscious, try to forget. In basic terms, it's just want to forget about, right? However, I'm sure most of you have gone to like somewhere mall and you heard something that triggered memories from back in the Jahiliyyah, right? When I walk in the mall, like, here, Michael Jackson song or something, it's like, that. I know exactly where I was when I heard that and what happened. Or smell, like a perfume, or food or something. These are memory stamps that are associated to a specific memory or an action. So they went to, I think it was a family gathering, and he saw that guy who abused him, and that triggered everything. back into, from subconscious into the conscious. And what comes with it is all those feelings as well, the anxiety, the depression, all that. It can happen just a fraction of a second, just one look and like everything's back to square one. I guess to fast forward, what happened is they turned to drugs, family interfered with some counseling. The specialists themselves weren't able to identify the issue. The family got involved and they told the wife, don't go. Now, of course, as a wife, you want to help your husband, right? No, it's okay, I'll be with him, I'll take care of him. They wanted her to stay away because they felt he was becoming violent. He was starting to fight, he was becoming very violent. But as any wife, right, I mean, she would be trying to take care of him and help him. So she went against his family's advice. They're the ones who told him, just don't go to our son. She went and he killed him and killed himself the same day. People don't understand what type of damage can be done. Not only from abuse, from exposure to pornography, drugs, even from parents fighting in front of children when they are so young, how much damage that can do to their children when they grow up.
What advice would you give to parents?
You get outside, man. Go to the car, go for a ride. I don't know, send WhatsApp messages, something you want to fight. Do not fight in front of kids. Do not let your children with someone you don't trust. Do not let your children unsupervised. There's no such thing as, oh, they have privacy. Your children have privacy when they're in your house and under your supervision. You're talking about privacy because they might burn themselves. That's why we're in charge of them, to transition them into adulthood when they can stand on their feet. Then, yeah, then they have privacy. So then it's a responsibility. So we have to understand how to transition them, how to help them in those stages, those specific formative stages when the brain is still shaping their ego, their ID. Everything is forming their personality. Nurturing is very important. Nature is only so much, is limited to what traits you're gonna inherit from your parents. And the rest of it is polished by your environment and what you're learning, what's around you. The smallest bite of information can affect you and change that perception. For example, seeing something inappropriate on the mobile phone at the age of 7 is not the same as someone at the age of 19. Totally different. Totally different. Yet a lot of children at the age of 7 are exposed to this trash, and parents are giving them their phones and mobile phones and Instagram and all these things.